Good morning and welcome to your Cosmic Check-In, just another Magic Monday. Your astrological forecast for the week of June 6th to June 12th, which astrological aspects to look out for in order to seize opportunity, and which ones to be mindful of, when to hold back, when to mitigate risk, when to stay in your house because people are going to be acting a little intense. We break it down every single Monday here on my channel. This morning we've got a smoothie. Let me know what you are drinking, coffee, tea, water, what you're eating for breakfast. And let's talk about this week. Okay, so here's the thing about this week. There is this really harmonious energy and it's very productive. It's very fertile. It is very much filled with possibility. And do keep in mind, Mercury has not cleared the shadow. So I'm not saying launch that business, leave that man, make all of these changes, right? We're still getting the clarity. We're still getting the insights as Mercury treads through degrees it has already traversed through. So I'm not saying it's all systems go, but it is this energy where that clarity that's coming through, we can really put it into action and really plant our seeds, so to speak, when the soil is very fertile. However, how this aspect is going to permeate is that I feel that not a lot of people are going to seize it because it's sort of like feel good. It's sort of like optimistic. So there could be this energy around letting this fertile opportunity pass us by. Love-wise, this week is one that is going to have us all craving a little space, okay? We're all gonna be a little cranky. Our beloved, if we are in a relationship, can be acting a little strange. We could be craving more time to be ourselves within our love relationships. If you are single, you can find that you are drawn to really interesting types of individuals during this time. Or you can find that your coupled friends are all hitting you up this weekend like, I need to get away from this person. Can we do something fun? So just some facets to keep in mind. I will give more texture and nuance as we take it through aspect by aspect, day by day, what this means for you in your life and how to seize the opportunity that is very much in the cosmos. Before I do, I just want to highlight that I do have an opportunity this summer. If you do want to learn astrology, I am doing an 8-week astrology workshop series. So it's part of my course, Self-Care Astrology. So not only do you get the entire interface of that course, which is packed with educational modules, yoga flows, meditations that pair with the astrological concepts that are taught every single week, added on, and this is exclusive, this is just a one-time thing, I'm adding on just this summer a live workshop series where you will see the techniques that are being taught demonstrated in your birth chart. So it's like while you're learning about North Node, your North Node is being used in the workshop as an example. So you basically get the personal insights from your chart as well as an opportunity to practice with other individuals, connect, give feedback on your chart reading techniques. I am so excited. I've loved Self-Care Astrology and being able to build this container for individuals to move through the course. But honestly, I really missed teaching live. I've taught live for maybe like 3 years. So teaching digitally, while I love it, and I've been loving the feedback that have come through from the founding members of Self-Care Astrology, I really just miss being able to connect with you all. So this is a one-time exclusive opportunity only if you register before June 29th. So make sure to check that out. It comes with every single tier on selfcareastrology.com. So super excited to be learning and getting cosmic and starry-eyed with you all this summer. And without further ado, let's take it to the vibe check of the week. And I'm gonna put down my smoothie, but cheers, let's make it a magical week. So good. I love smoothies. They're my favorite food on the planet, truly. What other food can you sip? Firstly, ease of consumption, amazing. The amount of spinach you can pack into a smoothie and you don't really taste it because it's overshadowed by fruit, amazing. It's healthy-ish, depends on what you put in it, but it's healthy-ish. Name a better food. Name a better food. Smoothies are my favorite. In this essay, I will. Okay, anyway. So before I just make this a video diary about how much I love smoothies, let's just take it to Vibe Check of the Week. And if you are new here, essentially Vibe Check of the Week is when I liken what the astrology feels like to a real life situation. So you have something to sort of grab onto as you understand how these concepts could play out within your life. And what I thought of when I was reviewing this week's astrological influences was this viral meme. I believe it initially was trending on TikTok, but of Kim Kardashian. And she basically says, get your blank blank up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days, and like wildly out of touch, wildly controversial. Definitely not a sentiment that I'm communicating to you. But the reason that I thought of it is because we have this really fertile energy this week, because the Virgo moon is sort of kicking up all of these lovely trines, like it's trining Venus in Taurus and Uranus in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn. And there's this fertile energy with this Earth Grand Trine building within the cosmos. And Earth is about being productive. It's about our ideas and our insights being able to be grounded within reality. And with this, there's this opportunity, there's this fertility that I was speaking of earlier around the efforts that we concentrate towards can really reap wonderful results, because we're detail oriented. Because of the Virgo moon, our actions are very powerful and transformative with supporting energy from Pluto and Capricorn. We've got Mercury in Taurus, which is gaining clarity as it begins to move forward eventually, not quite yet, but eventually to explore new terrain. And Venus in Taurus, which is in its domicile. So there is this opportunity earlier this week around whatever your Mercury retrograde story was, whether it was an idea from the past that you're like, ooh, why didn't I not do that? Or if there was certain elements of your business that you're feeling really inclined to dive into, certain elements of your passion project that you really are bringing to the surface, there's this energy to be able to take those insights and put them into action and have it really turn out well, because we have all these earthy, productive influences. Now, with that being said, and I say this every time that someone comes to me with a grand trine, because if you have a grand trine within your birth chart, you have gifts, okay? You have gifts, but here's the thing, is that when it comes to grand trines, whether it shows up within a natal chart or within the cosmos, it is gifts that we have that we take for granted, okay? Or opportunities, I should say, with this week's astrology that we have that we take for granted. So trine is associated with ease and growth and prosperity and luck. And when we have that, we can feel pretty good. And we can feel so good that we don't necessarily want to get our blank blank up and work. And I'm not co-signing her words within that meme. It was just what came to mind, because when I look at this particular energy earlier this week, it's very ripe. This is why I love doing these Magic Mondays, because I believe that we are not machines. Like, we are part of nature. We have ebbs and flows. And that's really what the study of astrology is. It's about these cycles and living in harmony with them. And I think a lot of times we can pressure ourselves around, we've always got to be consistently outputting at this really high amount or this high volume, when it's like, no, we're nature. We cycle. And there are certain astrological influences that are more productive. So if you're going to put all this effort towards something, I would recommend doing it when the cosmos are working with you, and that's earlier this week. So there does feel to be this loveliness or stempling and sensuality with all of these earth placements. But again, not everybody will get their blank blank up and work and take action on it, take action on the insights that have come up from Mercury retrograde, on the ideas that they have in regards to their life. Because with Earth, it's about being able to take things and make them tangible, material. And with this, it's really asking us, okay, you've talked about this, you've talked about this, you've talked about this. At some point you have to do it. At some point you have to do it. And whether it is a creative idea or something that you've, like a book club amongst your friends or a renovation project, of course, it's not the time that I would start something brand new. But if there's something where it's like, I've talked about it, I've talked about it, I've talked about it, this is sort of energy where you can start to build some forward momentum. Maybe Mercury retrograde gave you some clarity on it. Maybe it brought to the surface some old ideas, but there is this powerfully fertile energy earlier this week around focused intention, having the dream or having the creativity or having the vision and putting it into action, getting our blank up and working. Again, not co-signing her sentiments. I think it was out of touch. And I'm definitely not someone who's like, hustle, girl boss, like work all the time and no balance, but I'm just letting you know that if there is something you've been wanting to put some love into, put some energy into, a passion project, a side hustle, a new idea for you and your friends to get together, there is this detail orientation, there's this power, there's this attunement to what's practical and what's tangible earlier this week that I want you to seize. So the first part of the week is sort of like taking that Kim Kardashian meme at face value, like just the words, like you got to get up and work. Like this is the energy we're going to want to take advantage of. We got to activate it, right? And a body in motion will stay in motion. And there's this really positive momentum that can be built if we are able to get ourselves up and seize this energy, right? And then the more controversial layer where it's like, okay, this is someone who is extraordinarily wealthy and has, created their wealth through underpaying and exploiting individuals as telling other people that they have to get up and work. The more controversial sentiments of what it was that she was saying is sort of mirrored, and also why it came to mind, with the astrology later this week, because we have a Scorpio moon and then Venus in Taurus, which isn't in its domicile, so it's a happy Venus, but it does meet up with Uranus. And Venus is sort of like our social graces, and with Uranus, people can be, not as inclined to be polite or as considerate. With the Scorpio moon sort of opposing the Venus and Uranus conjunction, there is this energy where we could be a little testy. A lot of us in relationships can be craving some more space. People can be behaving more eccentrically. They could be not as attuned to social graces, and whether or not this will come off the right way, right? With Venus and Uranus, yes, there can be bursts of creativity. There can be this true desire for freedom and to be your own person and your own self, but there can also be this energy around not necessarily being as considerate or even having some issues in your relationship because of this lack of consideration, so to speak. So I'll be giving more texture and nuance as we continue day by day. I just want to mention that timestamps are below if you need to jump to a particular day. And every time that I mention is PST, so just adjust to your time zone before writing it in your planner or your phone calendar or however it is that you remember this. Maybe you come back to Magic Monday when you need to brush up on a time, but regardless, just keep in mind that I am located in sunny California, so I dictate the time zone that I am in. So without further ado, let's take it to Monday, June 6th. So on Monday, June 6th, I'm hoping I don't have smoothie all over my face. Here is hoping. So Monday, June 6th, we have the Gemini Sun sextile Chiron in Aries. And like I've mentioned, Magic Monday to Magic Monday, like truly a gift of Gemini energy is around this energy of being open and being curious. And I feel like Aries sort of celebrates those same qualities. And it is a really nice energy around inner child healing or around being able to really honor the parts of ourselves that when we were younger, we were told was a flaw or was wrong, and realizing that it makes us the person that we are. Or even like reclaiming certain activities that we used to do when we were younger, or something that sort of helps us reconnect with that part of ourselves before people really told us who it was that we should be, right? I feel like a lot of times when we are children, we know exactly who we are, and then we lose touch with that as we get older. It's so fascinating talking to parents about their children's birth charts and bringing to the surface certain energies that are within it. And it's like they are already so exhibiting what their birth chart carries. And oftentimes as we get older and other people tell us who it is that we should be and how it is that we should live, we lose that authenticity or that just raw expression of self, which this particular aspect really celebrates. So on Monday, if you have a space, if you have some time, I would recommend doing something that you used to enjoy as a child, or wearing something you used to enjoy wearing. So if you used to love like bows in your hair, wearing really bright, obnoxious colors, or roller skating or writing, whatever it is that it's like, that just makes you feel like the most raw, pure expression of you, I would encourage you to put some time towards it on Monday, even if it's just journaling about what was it that I used to tell people that I wanted to be when I grew up. And how do I still feel like that energy is active within me? Like I said, I wanted to be a ballerina, and I still love dancing, even though I don't make time to do it necessarily. Or I used to want to be an astronaut, and now I'm an astrologer. Or however it is that sort of energy comes up within your life. And also sort of journaling about how you can nurture that component to you. Like, so journaling around if the 8-year-old or the younger version of yourself could see your life as it is now, what parts of your life would they be so excited by? So like, oh my goodness, you live in this excellently decorated apartment, you're still doing art, which we love. And what parts would they be a little disappointed by in that, oh, we're not rollerblading anymore, we love rollerblading. We're not dancing anymore, we love dancing. We're not being weird in front of our significant other. Why are we even in that relationship? Or however it is that could come to the surface, just an opportunity. It's a sextile, so it's soft energy. So not everyone will necessarily feel that come to the surface, but I encourage you, if it resonates at all, that that's something you've wanted to dive into. This is a very pure energy to explore that. And the moon enters Virgo very early in the morning, and a Virgo moon Monday, like I said, we're building to this grand trine energy, right? So truly Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is honestly very productive. And on Monday particularly, the Virgo moon really attunes our focus to the details of our life, really breaking down the maintenance of our life, the little details that make up the sum of our life. If the laundry's made, getting groceries, all of those things, and being able to, infuse some magic within the mundane. It is a magic Monday, do not forget. And being able to, maybe while you're grocery shopping, like being able to, since this is the same day that Sun sextiles Chiron, being able to, look at the funfetti. And maybe that's like a food where you're like, you can't eat funfetti, you're too old. Maybe you grab the funfetti. Funfetti doesn't hurt anyone. Or anything else that you can infuse, the daily maintenance of life, your work, with a little more fun, with a little bit more creativity. The Virgo moon does trine Venus and Taurus, so we can be more centrally in tuned. We can really have our mind on the money and money on our mind. So like I said, the earlier part of this week is great for business, professional pursuits, or anything that we want to sort of take from the ethereal into the tangible, so to speak, as Virgo moon, can feel calmed by getting things done. Like if you feel nervous during a Virgo moon and coming from a Virgo moon, the way to sort of satiate the Virgo moon brand of neuroses and brand of being permanently nervous about the world around us is around just handling the minutia around getting our bodies into motion. A body in motion stays in motion, right? And it's like we can sit and we can plan and we can obsess, but this week is about, particularly early this week, is about getting our blank blank up and working, right? Taking those ideas and putting them into action. Even if it's not perfect the first round, we're building momentum, right? We're building momentum on old ideas or old insights or something that we want to invite into our reality. So sometimes momentum isn't just like given to us. We need to jumpstart it, right? On Tuesday is the first quarter moon, and so the Gemini moon squares the Virgo moon. And with the first quarter moon, there can be some nervousness, and the Gemini moon can feel all over the place and scattered, but it's like just focusing on, okay, it is important to me that I really want to send this group text to my friends to see if they want to have this book club. It is important to me that I do these particular items on my jewelry Etsy page to get it up. Like taking the vision and breaking it down into tangible steps will help soothe the overwhelm that feels like it's sort of bound to come up, particularly on Tuesday, because the energy of a first quarter moon is around crisis. Whenever I talk to someone about their birth chart and they're born during a first quarter or third quarter moon, I'm like, you have a crisis moon phase. They're like, does that mean my life is a crisis? And no, it's called a crisis moon phase because it's essentially the sun is squaring the moon. So it's sort of this energy where it's like a midpoint check-in around our Gemini new moon intentions, where it's like, okay, we dreamt of this new star, what it is that we want to invite into our reality. And it's not like that thriving jewelry business isn't going to come down to us from the clouds, right? The cosmos will give us energies to work with, but it's up to us to get our blank up and work, right? It's like we have to meet our manifestations halfway, or meet what it is that we want to invite into our reality halfway. And there can be this overwhelm or being very within your mind because it's a Gemini sun, it's a Virgo moon. These are two mercurial energies. So we could feel scattered and nervous and overthinking and all over the place, but just breaking down, okay, I want this jewelry business. I'm going to do these particular items to seize this productive energy, and then I'm going to go on a walk, right? Building that self-trust within ourselves and just building that momentum. Watch out for intense dreams that night as the Virgo moon does oppose Neptune in Pisces. So do look out for that. Last week I shared how I had that dream about the fried cod soup, and it actually sounded good to some of you. So maybe I need to expand my palette. I most likely do. But the reason I was giggling is because I just remembered that last night, I mean, I'm a really unusual sleeper. Any other moon in the 12th house people can probably attest to a similar sentiment, or at least having a very intense dream life, or if you have 12th house presence in general, typically the dream world or the sleeping world is a little unusual, or it's a little psychic or something of the nature. But this has been a problem since forever, but it's more challenging now that I have a partner, so I'm sleeping next to someone. And yeah, last night I woke up just screaming. Something was really scary. I don't remember what. And my boyfriend was like, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. And I was just screaming. Like, imagine sleeping next to someone who just wakes up screaming. Poor dude. Oh my gosh. And I sleep talk. I sleep walk. I sleep scream. I'll like wake up in the middle of the night convinced that there are spiders all over me. And then we turn on the light and there's nothing. Like, if you sleep next to a 12th houser at night, you deserve a prize, because it is no easy feat. So anyways, I was just giggling because I totally forgot that happened. Whoopsie. But it's like, I don't remember what I saw, but it was legitimately something so scary. And he was like telling me to stop screaming, but I was like, you don't see what I'm seeing right now. Like, this is terrifying. But anyways, just on Tuesday, I'm making a mental note to myself to maybe have him just stay at his place and me here, because that feels like a night that'll be very active for our dream world, and I do not need any more activity within my dream state, alas. With that building, so we have like the clash from the Gemini sun earlier, and then the opposition to Neptune. We still have some fertile energies, but it does feel a little bit better Monday and Wednesday, because with the kind of anxiety of the Virgo moon clashing with the Gemini sun, and then the imagination from the opposition to the Neptune energy, it can sort of be an energy where we sort of get lost into the minutia or into the little details around, what if I launch this jewelry business and no one buys anything? And then, oh my gosh, and then I'll just do this and then this. And then you go down this tunnel and it's like, okay, we can either put our energy into assuming the worst, should we start this jewelry business? Or we could just take the practical steps to just do our best, right? Make it happen. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you know? But that doesn't mean that we should just sit idly and wait for, you know, our dream life to be handed to us. Sometimes we do have to build some momentum towards it, towards inviting in what it is that we want. So on Tuesday, do keep in mind there can be some nervousness, but don't let nervousness, but it can be grounded by handling this task, and then this task, and then slowly moving on to the next task. That's really how you're going to satiate and calm that Virgo moon. So on Wednesday, June 8th, is when the Earth grand trine really exacts. Like that's when the Virgo moon is between Mercury and Taurus, as well as Pluto in Capricorn. So it's really this fertile rush of energy around the details, thank you Virgo moon, around practically what will work, thank you Mercury in Taurus, and what will sort of bring us closer to our own personal sense of empowerment and growth, thank you Pluto Capricorn. So another day, put a little star by it by your planner to just put things into motion. Get ideas out there, put some feelers out there, put some energy out there, build some momentum. Let's move forward, right? Mercury is now direct, won't clear the shadow, but there can be this energy where you're able to really gain clarity and take action on it. Like maybe your Mercury retrograde was like being in this state of like analysis paralysis around, I'm so passionate about wanting to sell my jewelry on Etsy, but I'm so fearful that it's not going to work out. And maybe with Mercury retrograde, you could sort of take in the data of like your customers and what they've given to you so far and use this energy to sort of implement those changes. Like wherever Mercury retrograde sort of brought up insights for you, Wednesday is a really great time to take that insight and put it into action, build structures around how you can move beyond it, right? Like Mercury retrograde isn't mean for no reason. It brings to the surface what we can be avoiding or not dealing with or not seeing clearly. And this is the energy where it's like, okay, we have these insights and now we have to work on them, right? We can keep our head in the sand and just avoid it and just be like, la la la, I'm just gonna live in my dream world. I don't want to take these dreams and put them into reality. But there is this really fertile energy where we're able to on Wednesday in a very powerful way. So definitely something to keep in mind. And those aspects exact very early in the morning. So it is something that can be felt should we, mitigate the anxiety. Thank you, Neptune in Pisces. We could feel that Tuesday night as well as Monday morning. I do want to bring to the surface that the moon is void around 5:30 until the moon enters Libra at 8:23 a.m. And with the Libra moon, we are more attuned to our one-to-one connections, craving beauty, craving harmony. There's an opposition to Jupiter in Aries, so we can be feeling a little bit more positive, a little bit more can-do, whether it comes to our relationships or taking our ideas and putting them into action. Definitely sees it, like with the Grand Trine, with this aspect, there is this rush of optimism, and oftentimes optimism could be a double-edged sword. Like we can use that optimism to be like, I think this project is going to be a success, and it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy because we bring in that energy with it. Or sometimes optimism can be our downfall when we're like, oh yeah, this is going to be success, and then not necessarily putting in the effort to ensure that it is, right? So with it, again, take the good vibes, take the inspiration, and then get your blank blank up and work. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way at all. I'm just saying when there is positive astrology, we've got to take advantage. And then that evening, it really exacts Thursday 9th, but the Libra moon does battle with Mars and Aries, and truly Mars and Aries is winning because it is in its domicile. So it could be this sort of conflict around wanting to be able to do things your own way, but also wanting to keep the peace. Again, relationships do feel a little chaotic this week, so definitely something to look out for. And sometimes, compromise can be a beautiful thing, but sometimes you can't necessarily compromise, because it feels that there is an attempt to keep the peace with the Libra moon. We're all wanting to get along, but there can be certain elements where it's like if we compromise, we could feel like we're giving up certain things that are important to us or certain things that we really want to fight for. So it just feels like this sort of time where we could feel like we reach a resolution or keep the peace, but both people are going to walk away from that particular dialogue or from that particular situation feeling like they didn't get what they want. Like it doesn't feel like a win-win. It's like we can walk away and things are ostensibly fine, but we haven't really dealt with the crux of the issue and we haven't really got what either individuals wanted. So not the time that I would necessarily pick a fight, just feels like a lose. We could be a little bit more emotional, a little testy, as the Libra moon does oppose Chiron in Aries. And then that evening, the Libra moon trines Gemini sun. So we are in the waning, disseminating moon phase, which is about sharing, giving back, connecting. Again, with the Libra moon, Gemini sun, there is this energy around wanting to learn about the world around us, work together, collaborate, connect. So while that morning, like really the night before, morning time isn't great for dialogues and really a time that might be best to just be on your own for a little bit, that afternoon, it exacts at 6:57. Great for a happy hour, great for a date. We're more curious, we're more inclined to want to get along, to learn about one another. And if you are in a relationship, to be able to still be curious about one another and ask each other questions and be fascinated by one another. If there was a date night this week, I would definitely say Thursday evening, because this weekend, focus on yourself. It just feels like a time where we could be craving some space to be able to do our own thing. More on that when we get there. But Thursday evening does feel like a great time to connect, collaborate. On Friday, June 10th, we have a can-do trine from Saturn to the Libra moon. Happens very early, but if you're in a different time zone, perhaps you can take advantage of that. And then the Libra moon squares Pluto and Capricorn. So they're like, again, this poor Libra moon, it's like not getting what it wants. It wants harmony, it wants to get along with people. And earlier with the opposition to Mars in Aries, it was like feeling like keeping the peace was like going against what it is that you want. And with the square to Pluto and Capricorn, not the time that I would appeal to authority figures. You could be feeling things really intensely. There can be a lot coming to the surface, but also this feeling that you have to put on a happy face and just sort of grin and bear it. And the moon's void from 10:36 until 1:31, at which point it enters its fall Scorpio moon. So feeling all the things, feel them intensely. Again, a great way to cope this week is just being productive, because again, with the Scorpio moon, our emotional world is gonna feel really intense. Our emotional landscape is gonna feel deep and transformative. And with the aspect of the Taurus Mercury, again, building momentum, getting ready to enter some new degrees, but not quite there, it trines Pluto and Capricorn, which again, we kind of had a little whisper of this energy on Wednesday because it was involved in the grand trine. They both made trines, the Virgo moon as third trine sort of built, but it exacts on Friday. So another great time to be able to sort of take any nervous energy or any emotional energy and put it into action, put it into insights. We can complain, we can think about how we want this jewelry business to be a thing, we can think about how we want this book club to be a thing, but there comes a point when we actually have to do it. And it does feel like we could be feeling things kind of intensely on Friday, but we can find that when we take those anxieties or those fears or those desires and put them into action, we really build some positive momentum. So that's definitely something that I would encourage this week. There does feel like there can be a lot coming to the surface, but I want you to continue to anchor into reality and make things happen for yourself. And not in a hustle, girl boss sort of way, but in a way in that, when we are putting our energy towards something that we want, rather than just ruminating, obsessing over something that we don't want, we are building positive momentum for ourselves. So long as it is something worthwhile to you, I would just recommend put this mental, powerful energy into practice, whether it is writing, discussing, whatever it is, just build some momentum towards it, okay? It just feels like a great way to cope this week. And then Saturday, the 11th. Venus is a happy Venus, but it meets up with Uranus. And we could be craving some more space. And then the Scorpio moon opposes both. So it's we are craving more space, and we can also be seeing, our relationships and feeling really constricted by them, because with the moon in its fall opposing the two, it's almost this energy around, I'm not getting what I need from my partnership. I need to be free. I need to be doing my own thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. We should feel free within our relationships. I just wanted to bring that to the surface because this weekend, it's a great time to nurture your individuality. I'm not saying break up with your person, not that at all, but it's get back in touch with like who it is that you are as an individual. Like you could just be craving more space to be able to do your own thing. There could also be certain instability when it comes to other Venusian matters. So beauty, wanting to express yourself in a really different, authentic, unusual way. Money can feel really like up and down. And there could just be this energy where it's like, I just got to do something different, whether it's spending something impulsively, doing something impulsive, going on an impulsive trip. Like again, impulsivity is not a bad thing. Who doesn't love some spontaneity? But it just feels like with the Scorpio moon, there's just this energy around my needs aren't getting met. So I'm going to go spend a bunch of money on this designer purse that I don't even like that much. My needs aren't being met by my relationships. I'm going to go out with my friends, you know, to Vegas for the night and ignore all their calls. Like there's nothing wrong with being spontaneous. There's nothing wrong with doing your own thing. Just ensure that it's not coming from this energy around retribution or around getting back at someone or not doing anything too impulsive, right? It just is an energy where we want to remember the individual that we are, honor our authenticity, and it just feels like a time where, and even with like the Libra moon aspects this week, it's just like this energy where it's like, we could just feel like what it is that we have to give in the partnership and like what we have to do in order to maintain that energy of harmony and like getting along. There could be this energy where we feel like we have to give up certain aspects of ourselves. And again, that's not healthy. And this weekend is a great time to return to those aspects of ourselves that we could feel like is missing. Because a lot of times when we're impulsive and we just want to do something crazy, it's because we're not like honoring the impulsive parts of our personality or honoring the parts of our life where we're craving more freedom and just a spirit of like openness that really the Gemini sun wants us to carve out. So this weekend, definitely a time to get out of the norm. If you aren't in a relationship, like I said, you could be hearing from your coupled friends who are like, girl, I need to get away from this person. I'm sick of them. I just need my own space. And it also could be a time where you are drawn to unusual people or you go on a really strange, unusual date. So this weekend, you know, just feels like sort of a strange time. Sunday the 12th, you might wake up in a little bit of a bad mood because the Scorpio, you know, moon is feeling everything intensely and it squares Saturn in Aquarius. So it's just like sort of like this bummer energy with the trine to Neptune. We can sort of alchemize, because that's the gift of Scorpio, is the energy of alchemizing. It is the energy around being able to take something that is unpleasant and being able to turn it into something else, which is why I'm saying like this week, we could really be the Rumpelstiltskins of our own life and like take straw. Like there does seem to be things coming to the surface that are less than pleasant, but being able to spin it into gold or spin it into a project that we're proud of or spin it into something that it is that we want to call in, right? And so with the Scorpio moon squaring Saturn and Aquarius, there's almost this dissatisfaction with the present reality. And with the trine to Neptune and Pisces, there can be this desire to want to get lost into a daydream. But again, this week isn't just about getting lost. It's about getting lost, taking the parts where it's like, okay, in my daydream, I have a jewelry business. Let me get my blank up and work. In my dream life, I have a book club. Let me lasso all these girlies and get a book plan in place. Like there is this energy where it's like, yes, we can get lost in a daydream, but notice what's in the daydream and put some action into making it happen. Scorpio moon does sextile Pluto and Capricorn. So again, we could be looking into things really, really deeply, wanting to understand the deeper layer around what's going on. Not the time that I would share these insights with other people as the Scorpio moon. Not the time that I would share these insights with other people as the Scorpio moon does oppose Mercury in Taurus, so it can come off the wrong way, something of that nature. Then the moon's void at 2:40 until it enters Sagittarius at 3:31, which is around being able to build a little bit more sense of optimism and openness. And again, this weekend we are building to a full moon, which is why things can feel really intense. And I'm not saying there's necessarily going to be a lot of breakups, like there might, because with full moons, things are coming to the surface. And, you know, with the Venus, Uranus, some people could come to the surface around, okay, I really want to be free. I'm really not getting my needs met in that. And I'm not saying everyone needs to break up with their person. That's not it at all. I do feel like that might be the case for a couple people out there. But there also could be this energy around, okay, I'm not necessarily feeling like I'm getting my needs met. maybe it's not my partner's fault. Maybe it's an act of like self-betrayal. Maybe I'm not honoring the parts of myself that I want to nurture. I'm not honoring spontaneity and excitement and creativity with my world. How can I sort of invite more of that into my reality? So not saying everyone needs to break up with their partner, but there kind of will be a call around, I want more freedom. I want more excitement. I want more something. And I'm not feeling like I'm getting it within my present reality. And things always feel more intense as we're building towards a full moon. A lot comes to the surface and it can feel very emotional. So I just want to send you all so much love. Again, be a little Rumpelstiltskin of your life, taking straw, which is like data and insights and ideas, and turning it into gold, putting in the tangible efforts to make our dreams a reality. And the Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I am open to my transformation. And I say this because of the Mercury trine Pluto aspect this week, as well as the Venus and Uranus. It does feel like there are some insights where it's like coming to the surface around certain elements of our life that we're not pleased with. And it's like we can see that and we can like go down a tunnel around, oh, why is my relationship not exactly how I want it? Or why is this not how I want it? And it can almost make us check out, where it's like we don't want to put in the effort to transform that part. We're just dissatisfied with how it is now. And it's like there does seem to be this noticing of where it is we aren't satisfied within our life. And we can take that and be bummed about it, or we can take those insights, take that data, and work towards where it is we are open to transform. Because part of change is around realizing what aspects of our life aren't necessarily serving us. And when we realize that, we can either be like, oh, this sucks, or we can be like, okay, this sucks. What can I shift that will invite in what it is that I do want? Or where is it that I can adjust what's not serving me into something that is serving me? And just realize that you are the captain of your ship, okay? And you can change direction if something is not serving you. You can invite in this energy of transformation and being able to take your dreams and put them into action. It's not going to happen overnight, but again, a body in motion stays in motion. And this feels like a week around positive momentum to integrate the transformation and the changes that we love to see within our world. So loves, let me know what you thought of this week's astrology. Let me know what you have planned this week, what you're looking forward to, what you're not, what already might be resonating already. My Instagram is at Haley Comet Astrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love to connect with you over there. All the information about Starry-Eyed Summer as part of my astrology course, Self-Care Astrology, is available below. And until we meet again, drink lots of water or smoothies and stay magical.